Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Grandma Lily English. I'm so happy you're here again. Last time, Alice followed a mysterious white rabbit into a strange new world. There she discovered a tiny golden key, a little door, and a mysterious bottle with just two simple words written on it. Drink me. She didn't know if she could trust it. But today, we're about to discover what happens when curiosity becomes stronger than fear. Before we continue, if you're enjoying these stories and they're helping you improve your English, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and answer today's question in the comments. Would you drink the bottle or would you walk away? I'd love to know what you think. Now, let's step back into Wonderland. Alice looked at the little glass bottle once again. The words, "Drink me," were still written clearly on the label. She turned the bottle slowly in her hands. "Should I drink it?" she whispered. "What if something terrible happens?" For a long moment, she simply stood there, thinking. Then she remembered something her mother had always told her. Before you try something new, stop, look carefully, and think. Alice smiled. The bottle looked clean. It smelled sweet, like fresh honey, ripe strawberries, and a little vanilla. She looked around the quiet room one last time. Nothing seemed dangerous. Taking a deep breath, she lifted the bottle to her lips. She drank one tiny sip, then another. She waited. Nothing happened. Alice laughed softly. "Perhaps it's just ordinary juice," she said, but only a second later, she felt a strange tingling in her hands. Her shoes suddenly felt much bigger. The room began to stretch higher and higher. The ceiling seemed farther away. The table grew taller. The golden key became more distant. Alice's eyes grew wide. "This can't be happening," she whispered. "I'm not growing. I'm getting smaller." Alice watched in amazement as everything around her grew bigger and bigger. The little glass table now looked as tall as a castle tower. The golden key was far above her head, and there was no way she could reach it any more. She looked at her tiny hands and couldn't believe her eyes. "I'm really shrinking," she whispered. Within a few moments, Alice was no taller than a little doll. She smiled with excitement. "Now I can fit through the little door." She hurried toward it, gently pushed it open, and stepped into the beautiful garden. For a moment, she simply stood there in silence. It was more beautiful than anything she had ever imagined. The flowers were taller than she was, their bright colors glowing in the warm sunlight. Tiny butterflies floated through the air like pieces of dancing light. The fresh breeze carried the sweet smell of roses and jasmine. Some flowers slowly turned toward Alice as if they were quietly watching her. Alice blinked. "Did that flower just move?" she whispered. Before she could look again, the flowers became perfectly still. A small white butterfly landed softly on her shoulder, then flew away as if it wanted Alice to follow. Curious, she smiled and walked along the little stone path. Everything felt peaceful, yet wonderfully strange. Suddenly, a calm voice broke the silence. "You're late." Alice stopped at once. She looked to her left. No one. She looked to her right. Still no one. The voice came again. "No, down here." Alice slowly looked toward the ground. Sitting on a large green leaf was a blue caterpillar. It calmly puffed little rings of smoke into the air and watched Alice without saying another word. Alice took one careful step closer. "Excuse me, Were you talking to me? The caterpillar looked directly into her eyes. For a long moment, it said nothing. Then in a quiet voice it asked, "Who are you?" Alice opened her mouth to answer. "I'm Alice," she began, but then she stopped. Everything had happened so quickly. She had followed a rabbit. She had fallen into a strange world. She had become smaller than a doll. She wasn't sure anymore who she really was. The caterpillar continued to watch her patiently, and for the first time, Alice realized that the hardest question in Wonderland wasn't where she was. It was who she was. What an exciting adventure! Alice discovered that Wonderland is full of surprises, and today we learned some wonderful English words from her journey. Let's practice them together. Word 1, shrink. Shrink means to become smaller. For example, Alice began to shrink after she drank from the little bottle. Can you say it? Shrink. Excellent. Word 2, wonder. Wonder means to think about something with curiosity. For example, Alice wondered if she could trust the bottle. Now you try. Wonder. Wonderful. Word 3, brave. Brave means showing courage, even when you're afraid. For example, Alice was brave enough to enter Wonderland. Let's say it together. Brave. Excellent. Now let's read 3 complete sentences together. Repeat after me. Alice wondered if the bottle was safe. She began to shrink. She was brave enough to enter Wonderland. Very good. Every new story teaches us new words, and every new word brings us one step closer to speaking English with confidence. Today's story reminds us that curiosity can open the door to amazing adventures, but curiosity alone is not enough. Alice didn't jump without thinking. She stopped. She looked carefully. She thought. And then she made her decision. Life is often the same. Before making an important choice, take a moment to stop, look, and think. That's one of the wisest habits we can learn. Today, let's learn about comparatives. We use comparatives when we compare 2 things. Listen carefully. Small becomes smaller. Big becomes bigger. Beautiful becomes more beautiful. Now let's use them in sentences. Alice became smaller. The flowers were more beautiful than she had imagined. The table looked bigger than before. Can you make your own sentence using bigger or smaller? Write it in the comments. I'd love to read it. Today, Alice discovered that Wonderland is far more mysterious than she ever imagined. She found a magical garden, a talking caterpillar, and one very important question. Who are you? At first, it sounded like a simple question, but Alice soon realized that sometimes the hardest questions don't have easy answers. In our next episode, Alice's adventure will continue. She will meet new friends, face unexpected challenges, and finally discover that the greatest journey there isn't across Wonderland. It's the journey of discovering who you truly are. Until then, keep wondering, keep learning, and never stop believing that curiosity can lead you to amazing places.
Grandma, I thought Wonderland was only a place full of magic, but now I think it's also a place where people discover something about themselves.
I think you're right, Noah. Every great story or Aki teaches us something about life and about ourselves. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed Alice's adventure, please give this video a like, subscribe to Grandma Lily English, and tell us in the comments, which place in Wonderland would you like to visit the most? I can't wait to read your answers.
We'll see you very soon for the final chapter of Alice's adventure.
Until then, keep learning English, one story at a time. Take care, stay curious, be kind, and remember, every page you read opens a new door. Goodbye, my dear friends, and take your time.
Goodbye, everyone. See you in our next English adventure.